Have you ever seen one of these super generic modern levels and thought, I could make that in 10 minutes? Well, today I'm going to be building one myself and teaching you how you can make one too. Also, I'll be gifting the finished level to one of my channel members. So if you want to have one yourself, then become a channel member. Anyway, with that being said, let's get into the video. So to start off, you want to find a super calm song like this one that's used in XXIX by Sputniks. Now after this, you can go out and back into your editor and you need to name it something super generic. Okay, next, there are a few steps that you need to do. So the first thing is, you need to get your colors in. So what you need to do is you can get your default ground and your default background as per usual. Then you need to click this option here saying show ground so you can see what it looks like. Now we obviously need to turn off the line, and then to pick your colors, what you need to do is you need to take this like color wheel thing and put it right up to the top in the middle here. Perfect. Okay, now you're just going to turn it round and round, just like any color you kind of want. I'm going to choose this kind of really generic sort of beige color like that. Yep, that's perfect. Then you're going to press copy here and put it onto the ground, and then the background has to be slightly darker. So what you need to do is you need to move this down to just about the middle, or maybe a bit higher than the middle, about here. And then you can paste it into this one, and you can kind of see that the background looks a bit odd. So what you need to do is you kind of just need to fiddle around with this thing until it looks kind of, you know, normal. Like this looks pretty decent for our generic level. Now I'm going to put in the custom song. Here we go, got masked. And then I'm going to like lower the background a bit more. You need to kind of make it so that the background's darker, but not too much darker, because otherwise it looks a bit weird. Okay, that is perfect. There we go. We've got the most generic thing possible. So now to start picking these colors here, what you need to do is you go onto the ground color, copy, then you paste it into here. But an even better way to do this is the copy color, and then you press ground 1. So then whatever color changes you make to the ground, it also makes to the blocks. So for example, if I place this here and then put a color trigger, which changes the ground to blue, as you can see, it doesn't just change the ground, it also changes the block. So that will be super useful for copying and pasting. Okay, next you want to get your accent color. So you go to color 2, you press copy color, ground. So we're going to make this -20. It's all about trial and error until this just kind of looks right. Yeah, that looks right. So now we can begin with our blocks. Also, quick side note, I decided to make this -10 because -20 was a bit too much. There we go. Now for our block design, we need to just do the most, generic, simple thing ever. So you can see this like block tab here with all the blocks. Well, you're going to want to scroll along here. So I think here is a good place to look. You kind of have these rounded edges. Perfect. Here we go. Now you can see this has a rounded edge. So what we need to do is, this kind of looks weird. It kind of has little bumps, right? So what you need to do is after you've got this first one, just going to place, a second one up here. Then if you want to build anything below that, to get rid of that like weird notch thing, just going to put one of these regular ones. And then boom, we have this. Probably want to stretch out a bit to fill in the gaps. And then that's really it. It's that simple. Okay, so now we've kind of got our block design. We obviously need to make this actually collide with the player. So we can literally just put this T1. Then we take these blocks here, right, and we put it on 1. And by the way, you want to take one of these sort of trigger setups. It's the opacity triggers, basically. So this one's 0, this one's 0.10, all the way up till number 10, which is 0.9. Okay, and then we can literally just take this and put this here. Now, obviously, this is not quite rate worthy yet. So what you need to do is you need to go to this saw tab, and you can look for something in here. Or, alternatively, you can go to this glow tab, and you can find some of these objects here. So I'm going to use these ones, and you can literally just make like a pattern like this. And then you want to use your color 2, so it's a bit different. And as you can see, when you put this above the blocks and you scale it down, perfect. Look at that. You can see now it kind of looks a bit different, right? So you can kind of spam these around in the blocks, put them like below and just like try and make a little pattern. Just not too much effort, because otherwise, this won't take 10 minutes and we won't be able to churn out a bunch of these. So now I'm just going to take this, and we can literally spam this onto every block and stuff like this, that easy. And then you can just spam this around like nobody's going to care, because they're just going to beat these for stars. Anyway, as you can see, we have like the laziest block design ever. Probably want to remove one of these. There we go. Look at this. That's it. And obviously this gameplay is disgusting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this away. So you always want to make the least interesting structuring ever. Okay, that's a must-have rule. So I'm just going to kind of fiddle around with this until this is like almost passable. So you don't want to actually make anything good though. That's the tip. If you make anything good, that'll take too much effort. So what you need to do is make something that's barely rate-worthy and barely original enough so that RobTop thinks you came up with it on your own. Anyway, after that, you want to add everything onto a group. Now, you can do this by pressing next 3, and that'll put it on, like, group 11, for example. Okay, and now, when you have this, what you want to do is you go up to here. You go to your triggers, and you place an area move trigger. Now, this trigger is perfect, because it makes it look like you've done more work than you actually have done. So, you need to put this on the ease in out option. Then you press the length, and you want to put this to 150, because this cannot be too hard, otherwise RobTop won't rate it, because RobTop loves rating easy levels, so don't make it too hard. Anyway, 150, and the move distance is going to literally just be -10. Nothing else creative here. You want to press player 1, this option up here, and then press 11 here, and then you want to make it go into the player, so that your block design falls down from the sky. There we go, that's good. And now to make it look even more better, just take this all and you just copy and paste it down one. And as you can see, when I take all the block design and move upwards, it kind of has this bottom part to it. So then you see it comes down, it actually connects with the floor. You can see there's an issue here. This thing is not aligned with that. So what you need to do is you push it upwards and across to line up perfectly, so then when the area move happens, nothing looks out the ordinary. Now that looks perfect, you see? And it looks like we've already done so much effort. So now the next thing we can do is we copy and paste this area move upwards. So now on length 150, we make this -15. And then we can go to here and we put this on 12. So you're asking, why do we do this? Well, you see these are dots. And this is exactly what you need to fill in more space in these levels. Because the goal of this level is not to be a good level. It's to fill in the most space we can to make it look rate-worthy. So what you need to do is you get these dots, and then you put them on color 2. Then you put this group in, which is number 6. So if I go over to here, you can see that the opacity of number 6 is 50%. Now it's quite hard to see these dots, so I'm going to lower the brightness a bit to make it more visible. Like, look at that, that's perfect. And that there, 50%, that should be good. So now we're going to put this on our group 12, so it kind of falls more sharp than the other one. And boom, look at this. We have our dots, and this will be essential for us getting a rate, because RobTop loves rating levels with dots. So we can now just literally just like copy and paste this along. You don't even need to like make it not blatant. And also this has to go on all of the floor where there is not any gameplay. So you can do that simply just like by copy and pasting that. And look at this. Already we're getting something nearly rate worthy. Like RobTop would love this. So now we want to get here back to the glow tab. You will see that there are these lovely wavy line objects. Now, are we going to do anything creative with these? Of course not. We are going to put this on color 1. Then we are going to turn it down to 60% opacity by putting it on this group here. Possibly even lower, because we don't want to have any creativity whatsoever. So number 4, just so it's barely visible, you want to scale this up to as big as possible. And then you're just going to move this down until you just have a bunch of these squiggly lines in the background. So look at this, it's already beautiful. You can take all of this, set this onto B3, and put this on a group, I don't know, editor layer 3, something like that. Yeah, there we go, perfect for the background. You can also lower the brightness down to about 0.5, so it kind of, you know, is even more backgroundy. And then you're going to put this on group 13. Now up here, you can press a move trigger, group 13. Then you're going to set this one to -1, and then you're going to make it camera, 0.5, and 0.5. Now, this will be the only background that we have in the whole level, because we don't want to do any creative, you know, parallax effects in the background. No, we just need to pump out levels as quickly as possible. Now, you're just going to literally copy and paste this as much as possible, because you want to fill in space, right? Now, here we go. And even better, we can put all these things on the same area move, or not the same one, but a different one. So number 13 can literally just have a little area move that makes it look like we did even more work, even though we didn't. So how great is that? Anyway, the move distance this can be 200, because you want this one to be kind of a slower movement. 200 and -5. And now look at all this. It like barely moves, kind of bulges out at the player. Probably want to set this down to 100 just to make it a bit more obvious. You know, we have to kind of find the right balance. And look at that. You can see the background moves now. How creative. Anyway, now we go to here, and this is where the key comes in. So you just want to copy and paste this along as always. Then you're going to copy and paste this all, put it up one editor layer. I know this is complicated. And then move it across by 1, or maybe 2, 3, 4, to give it that sort of weird shadow effect. Right, look at that. And then you can literally just take off the group 4, and look at that. Now we have our background effect. How great does that background look? And if you really want to, then you can put it on like group 9, so it's just like kind of less sort of dark. You can kind of turn this up, and you know, you can kind of mix and match it until you get something that you like. I think this looks fine, and it was super easy to make, because this literally, I've been recording for about 5 minutes. Okay, next you want to take these blocks, and obviously no creativity in this at all. You're going to move this upwards, right? Okay, perfect. And now you're going to take one of these spikes. I know it's a spike. And you're just going to put them both in color 1. We have no time for creative spike designs. Then you're going to move this up 1, so it kind of cuts all the corners off, and then perfect. Look at that. Except it doesn't move with the thing, so you're going to put this group 11. All of this needs to be on group 11. Perfect. Now, as you can see, it does it with the area move. Although even better, you can take this group, number 12, and put it on the one that the dots move, to make it look like you did more work than you actually did. And then, the best part of this is now copy and paste. You can see I can literally just take this and yoink it and put it wherever I want. Look at this. See? Boom. And then I can put this thing. It's just so easy. You can even link these things so that they're all just like random block designs that you can just use wherever you want. Linked, although this can be probably better. As you can see, you kind of want to make it polished as much as possible. It needs to be polished, but it doesn't have to be good. Anyway, we're just going to copy and paste this along, and I'm going to quickly go silent just so I can turn on the music and find where I can place portals. And honestly, it can be any game mode portal, because you're just going to copy and paste the same gameplay. So here we go. I'm going to turn up my music. Okay, so there's a change in the song about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a mini robot. Why mini robot? Well, this actually plays pretty much the exact same as the cube. It jumps the same height, and you can literally just copy and paste this gameplay over there. So anyway, let's just take this. You know, we're going to keep copy and pasting these dots. Remember, the dots are some of the most important parts of the level, because the dots fill in lots of space. And if it's an empty level, then it has literally nothing going for it. So what we need is just, like, look how many objects that is. But it doesn't even matter. And we've already squeezed out 13 seconds of gameplay. How great is that? Look at how good this level is already. I've spent about 10 minutes on this so far. We've already got that. And the best part is, it's now copy and paste time. You can mix and match structures as much as you want. Flip them, it doesn't matter, because nobody will notice when they're star grinding. Okay, there we go. We have got our super polished level right here. You know, the area move and everything. This is so far going super well. If there's any unfair parts of gameplay, it doesn't matter, just move it up. So now we've got our sword design. What you want to use, always, there are no other objects that you can use apart from these swords. So I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to put a little circle in the middle above the saw and scale it up. Now everything on this is just going to go 1, 1. Except this looks super bland. So this has to be slow, like 20, okay? And then you want to press number 2, and the brightness can go down. Or even better, because that looks ugly, number 1, the brightness goes down to 0.7. You add it to a moving group. It can be any moving group you want. For this one, I'm going to choose 12, which is the same one that the dots move on. You're going to link these, put them in your custom objects, and then what you're going to do is you're not going to use them yet. You're going to finish the gameplay for the first part. Why? Well, this is because once you've done the gameplay, you're going to place in the swords in places where they can't possibly kill you, to make them completely useless other than filling in more empty space. Anyway, now this is the time where you actually get to first play test your level. I know it seems like it's sort of an excess thing to do, but trust me, this is important, because otherwise it will not get rated, because it needs to be polished. Anyway, as you can see, there were some issues with these, and if there's issues, don't worry about saving objects. Just copy and paste these and put them upside down. So you can see, there was kind of, you could see the bottom of the blocks. So that's why you're just going to kind of spam it along underneath to make sure there's no difference whatsoever. Because if it's good, then that's fine. But good takes too long, so it just needs to be not bad. Anyway, let's begin putting these saws up here. Okay, there we go. I've mapped out the gameplay again, and now I can literally just place in all these saws. As you can see, it won't kill you here. You know, it won't kill you here. You just want to spam these to fill in space. Remember, they cannot kill you if it's not necessary, because these are useless saws. I mean, who cares about them? Anyway, the best thing you can do now is just scale down the saw design to get another one, except this is almost too blatant. So what you can do is press this little copy values button on the saw, delete it, and then the best part is, use the smaller saw, I know. Paste date, paste color, and look at that, we can kind of move this up to fit. And obviously put this on -20, so it looks like we did something creative. Now we take this, link it once again, and put it in our custom objects, ready for spamming. Also, you're going to want to put your name here. Okay, there we go, that's looking pretty good so far. Now the next thing we need to do is jump indicators. So once I finish mapping out this part, we're going to use the least creative thing possible. Go to the saw tab and scroll along until you see these hexagon things. These are perfect. Even get the smallest ones, actually. Now, what you want to do is you need to copy the values of the dots and paste them onto here. So now you can already tell, like, this is, like, way too copy and pasted. So instead, we're going to put it on number 8 or 9. There we go. And then we're going to make it brighter. So then it looks like it isn't copy and pasted, but it is. Okay, there we go. And now we can actually just spam this around. It doesn't even matter. Also, to show that these are jump indicators, what we need to do is select all of these and then put them on a new moving group. But do not worry, this will not take much work. Firstly, take the first area move you made, copy and paste it up. Then you need to keep this on 150, but put this on something crazy, like a -50. Then move this up to 15, and that's it. As you can see, they now just fall down from the sky and tell you where to jump. Look at that. Okay, you just want to keep spamming these as much as you can. You know, just fill in as much space as possible. But make sure that they never overlap with these circles, because look how ugly it looks. Because if it overlaps with the circles, then that will make the level look unpolished. And if it looks unpolished, it won't get rated. Because as I've emphasized before, the only thing this level has going for it is being polished. Okay, let's just continue with the lazy gameplay and jump indicators. Okay, there we go. We have got a super generic part. Except there's one thing about it. It's still too empty. So a good recommendation I have here is just to take this, and not even this, you know, just like make anything. Like you can just put a massive saw in the background and nobody will notice. Look at this thing, B5, put it on number 1 and dark brightness, and we literally have our background. It's that simple. Like we just put this on editor layer 5, we go there, we're just gonna scale it up, make it just big. That's it, it's that simple. Now you obviously want to set this. So a good thing that we can do that looks creative is put this one at 10, copy and paste, okay, move it down, and then take this one and make it slightly darker, then put this one on 20. I know, and look how much creativer that looks. Then we can scale it down again and make it darker again, and then we can literally just make it move faster again. That simple. Look how much more creative this looks already. Also want to make sure that there's none of these pesky gaps here. So if you see any, just scale it up until it covers it. There we go. Now look at that. So we can literally just put this on 16. Copy and paste 13. Okay. And put this on 16. Then just turn this thing up all the way. And then it just stays with the background. And an even better thing we can do is put this just about here. And then so it doesn't break at the start, we can just put it right there. There we go. But one thing looks weird. As you can see, it doesn't move for a while and then it starts moving. So what you need to do is press this color trigger. Then you're going to put this on G1 and you're going to make this black. And you're going to put this right at the start of the level so that the whole thing is black. Okay, you're going to put this 0 fade time. Copy paste and then put this on G2. And honestly, we don't have to do that. We can put copy color G1. Copying color is the best, because that means you can use less triggers, and then BG. So now everything's pitch black, but then here we can start to fade it to our normal colors. So G1 can fade to this, then the background can fade to its original color. And as you can see now, everything just fades on. And this is kind of on-site readable. And that is awful because Rob won't rate it. So you can put a pad under the jump indicator. And make sure this pad's invisible, just so that the player feels like they actually jumped themselves. And also it needs to be invisible so that the fading thing works. And then you want to unhide your player about here, because the thing is, you can see your player when the whole level's faded off. That is not good. So you're going to press this hide player. Then you're just going to do show player here. But you kind of want to make it sort of fade, like flicker on. So you're going to show hide. Then you're just going to make it a bit longer every time, you know? There we go. So now your player will literally just flicker on. Look at that. Beautiful. And it gives you time to react as well. So we can move the indicator along and stuff, you know? There we go. That looks super polished. Now I'm going to scale up the background a bit. And then we can move on to the next part. And an even better thing you can do is just copy and paste the background and put it inside of itself. There we go. Now the background is literally just infinitely repeating. Okay, so this difficulty right now is about 5-star, and that is great. So we've kind of got our finished part here. If you want to, like I'm going to, you can add some air deco, and even better, take these circles and literally all of the ones in the level, and what you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste them above. So you need to make these ones less opaque. So you can do that by first lowering the opacity by putting this on like number 4. And as you can see, that is perfect. And now we have a double circle effect. How cool is that? You can move it up and down to your liking depending on how you want the level to look. Now this first part already looks pretty decent, and I think this should be good enough to pass off. And if you want to, you can just add some more air deco. Like I'm going to quickly just make the most simple arrows in the world. So to do that, you can just copy and paste this. Copy values, delete it. Then get this thing, paste state, paste color. Set this to -15 or 30, somewhere in that range. I might use 30. And then you could just put an arrow inside of it. Then you can obviously put this on a moving group. So the group I'm using here is 15, the same one as the jump indicators. That might be a bit too drastic, so you can also use the dot moving group. Okay, here we go. Now we just add this to our custom objects, and then we can paste this around the level. You can also scale it down to have small ones. It doesn't matter, just fill up the space. There we go, that's literally our first part. And the best thing about this all is we can now copy and paste everything over here. I'm not even joking. Copy and paste absolutely everything. So you just want to copy right up to the portal, or maybe just up to the bit, you know, over here, where like the saws start. And then you can go onto the next layer and copy all this, you know, just copy everything. And as you can see, this is madly unoptimized, but that doesn't matter. Okay, that should be everything meaningful in the level. Now we can just move this along. Quickly, we're going to move this upwards just so we can delete some of the previous dots that we already placed here for some reason. And then we can just take this, all of it, flip it around like that, then move it down. There we go, that's perfect. Except you'll notice something a bit off about this. Yep, you saw it. The indicators and arrows point the wrong way, but that's completely free to fix. So all you have to do is firstly, move along the dots, because the gameplay can't start too soon after the portal, because otherwise, you know, it'll be too unsight readable. Anyway, then you just want to play this whole thing through and replace all the arrows and stuff. Also, you want to delete your name and stuff, because that'll obviously look weird having it again, because it can't be too blatant, you know, they can't find out about the copy and paste. Anyway, as you can see here, we've got to put some arrows in, so just add this to the custom object. It really doesn't matter, just spam them in. You know, there we go. There we go. Also, even better, we can put one of these sort of spike things above here, just as a bit more air deco for some reason. And then we're going to put a start position here, and then play the part. There we go. I've tracked out the gameplay. It's a bit awkward, but that doesn't matter because it's still polished. So we can delete all the original indicators. Don't leave any, because that could mess up the player. And apart from this one's fine because it's already in a place where we're going to need it. Anyway, we delete all the original ones, and then we just take one from over here, and we can place them back in. Okay, so now I've done that, you may think that this looks a bit odd, having the same part drag out for so long, and I think so too. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the color triggers from before that changed your level back, then you're going to literally just spam them along until you get to the part. And then, once you're at the robot part, or it can be anything, you can just make it mini cube. When making it mini cube, you have to be careful because the mini cube can't do jumps like this. Anyway, then you just change it. So, for example, if I want, I don't know, this sort of greeny level, just depends. Just find a color that you like, you know? But look at that, it changes color enough to look different, but not enough to kind of ruin the level. Anyway, then at this point you can delete your start pause because you won't have to play for that long to get back to the part. As another rule for these create point grinding levels is to only make it medium length. Once you've done this, you're actually going to have to make a change in the level. I know, scary. So what you're going to do is after the robot part finishes, you're going to have to place a ship portal in a place that fits the song. So let me just quickly do that. And I was lucky because the drop literally came up after the copy and pasted part. Now, luck may not be on your side for this, but that doesn't matter because you can just make some slight alterations in only a couple minutes. So you can hear here, that sounds weird, I know, that the beat kind of dies off. So we're going to fade the whole thing to black here. So we're going to find a place where it sort of fades off. And we're going to take these triggers here and move them along. Okay, so now at this drop part, what you're going to need to do is you're going to copy the background color first, paste it into here, then copy the ground color and paste it into here. Except we're not going to use these permanently, these are just placeholders, just so you can kind of see the level comes back to life. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to just like shift it around the color wheel until we kind of find a color that we like. I'm going to kind of go with this blue part because, you know, all these generic levels have the blue part. So, and then I'm going to take this, move it to here. And this looks way too saturated if I zoom out. Kind of see that it looks weird. But it doesn't matter because we're going to build a new block design. Also, you can place a start position here in mini mode. And you can kind of just see where the borders are to move the dots up. So as you can see, the border is up here, but the dots are only here. So what I can do is I can just move them up. Okay, so there you go, you can see now it works, and we're just going to test the transition, because things can go all kinds of dodgy here. Okay, that is absolutely perfect. As you can see, you can't see the other dots, but then you can see the new dots coming on. Now, I'm probably going to make these not pink pads, but instead red pads, just so it like launches you into the air. Okay, there we go, that's perfect. Now the next thing we need to do is remove this background. So we can just grab all of these and then go on to 5, grab this background and put them on a new group, say 18. And come down here and get this alpha trigger, and we can, in the transition, just get rid of the old background. Okay, so now we're just going to scout out the end of the level by listening to the song, and then there you can place a cube portal and one of these half speed portals for the end screen. Okay, there we go. We have done it. And now all we have to do is just build in the final 30 seconds or so. So first thing we need to do is copy and paste the generic dots along. We're going to make sure that these go through the whole level. Also, you're going to want to put the portal always in the middle of the part, just so it kind of like aligns better and just like looks more polished. Because again, I can't say this enough, the only thing going for this level is polish. Okay, right, so once you've done that, we need to build 3 block designs. So to start off, you're going to want to go back to the tab with the curved blocks. So I'm just going to go down here. Oh, here they are. And we're going to place this one down. And it'll already be the right color, thanks to our little color thing that we did earlier. Then we're going to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long. And then we can stretch out this one in the middle to get rid of the corners in the middle. And there we go, that already looks pretty good. Now we can literally just take one of these lines and connect it to the ground. If we really want to, we can make these things a bit thicker, you know, just so they're more visible. And there we go. Anyway, then we can put more dots on the corners, I know. And these ones can kind of be like decoration dots, so they're actually not on like the moving group. So this one T2, and we can put it on the number 2 color, so it kind of stands out. Also, as this part is nearer the end, you can be lazier with it than the other part, as RobTop is likely to not see this. There we go, we've got our half-baked block design. Now we just need to make another one. Now, the second one can literally just be this one, but copy and paste it along. Not even joking, it can literally just be almost the exact same, with some very slight alterations. Also, an annoying thing that this does, it like breaks all the lines for some reason, whenever you warp any of these lines, so you just need to fix it and then put them back in place, like so. Now, on this copy and pasted version, the first thing you're going to do is some color alterations. So everything that is on color number 2, you are going to select, and then you're going to put it on color number 1. Everything left on color 1 can be put on color 2. There we go. Now you can kind of like slightly alter this to how you want to, kind of make it a bit different. There we go. Like, just change the hue a bit, it doesn't really matter. Just kind of fiddle around with this. Color 2 actually looks much nicer with that kind of dark blue color. So if I just put that down to hue 0, then over here, we can change color number 2. There we go, that's great. And now on this one, you kind of see these dots look a bit weird, so it's just kind of trial and error, fix this up a bit. There we go, that is perfect, wow. So now we can just select these things, and we need to make tiny like color alterations here and there just to make them absolutely like perfect, because remember, polish is over everything. Looks completely fine. And then we can just link this. We can probably only use 2, and then we can actually just spam this around. Okay, there we go, we got our D blocks in. And now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this part. Because after I finish this part, I can just copy and paste it all in. So, as you can see, this part's super empty right now. And if Rob were to get to this, he definitely wouldn't rate the level. So, the first thing we need to do is select all of these, structures. And then put it on an area move group. Oh, that looks really bad. That looks awful, wow. Okay, that doesn't look right, so I'm just going to remove the area move. Okay, now, let's see. I'm going to add a bunch of just these, shaded trigger themajigs. I know, because these just, cover up all, mistakes and stuff. There we go, that's good, that's good. Okay, and then next, actually, remove the glitch. Instead, put on a chromatic glitch. Yeah, there we go, that looks like it fills in tons of space. But we need to, keep these all relatively low. Remember, this cannot have any, big effects or anything. Remember, this has to be the most, mundane level possible. Okay, there we go. I like the lines, though. They're good. Okay, that's looking good. And then on, I don't know, number 11, we can add some air deco. So to start off, saw tab, take, I don't know, it can't be, round. It kind of has to be sort of, I don't know, these ones could work, I guess. Put them on, 40, a bit faster than normal. And then copy and paste, move it around. Yeah, like that. There we go. And then we can just take this, and it looks a bit weird because of the chromatic thing, but that does not matter. Put that on number 2, and then we can take this thing and also put this on number 1. Now we can scale this down to 0.6, and then we can put this all on group 11, so it kind of has that area move that we had earlier. Okay, look at that. And the chromatic glitch thing really helps with the level. It makes it just, I don't know, better. And then we can scale this up to be really big, fill in lots of space, And then we can just add these every once in a while, just up here, and just the big empty gaps, Now this part isn't really rate worthy yet, so we need to add some more things. To start off, we probably need these little dots, and basically what you need to do to place these dots is you need to map out sort of, where the player will roughly go, and kind of join it up to just where the dots will go. So then it kind of is a path for the player, and it's not really very useful because it's easy to see where you need to go, but it just helps kind of fill in all the space. Also, this level must fully just be 1x speed, to match the chill speed of the song. Here we go, we can just put this on group 11 with the arrows, and then we can just literally like place these wherever we want, let's just be honest. Also, you may notice that this part is significantly worse than the previous one, and that is intentional. We can put much less effort into this part because it's after where RobTop will probably see. Okay, and the next thing you can add is kind of these like, I know, wavy air deco things. Like you can just make a pillar of these and just like put them up. Okay, put these on a lower brightness. Then just like, I don't know, just like spam them everywhere. It doesn't really matter where they go, it just has to fill in space. Okay, there we go. This part's had a significant upgrade. And another thing I can do is I can add like a slight bulge. Now, usually this doesn't work well on mobile, as you can kind of see, like where what is happening. But you can kind of just like edit it so that it kind of looks like normal, I guess. Okay, and there we go. That should literally be the level finished. I'm just going to make the player fade off at the end, and that'll be it. Okay, now I'm just going to literally drag out the end screen to be as long as possible, just so I can hit that 1 minute mark. Okay, there we go. We've got our subpar end screen here, and we've dragged it out to 1 minute long. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and here is the showcase.